Hey, what's up? Hello. Welcome to Sammy and Creepy. If you are new here, my name is Sammy and I like to talk about all things creepy. I like to talk about horror movies. That's really it. Creepy stuff and horror movies. So if you like that, you go ahead and just subscribe because you already know you like it here. Okay? I mean, look at Annabelle. Does she not make you want to subscribe? I would. If I saw somebody with a cool Annabelle like that in the background, I'd subscribe. Okay. So, my subscribers, I actually asked subscribers, followers, I can't remember where I asked for it. I think I asked for it on here, but I think I've asked on Instagram before. Either way, it doesn't matter. I asked for you guys to send me your paranormal experiences, or if you have any ghost stories or anything, to my email, which I'll put it right here, sparanormal@yahoo.com. If you don't mind me reading them, and you can let me know if you want to stay anonymous, which I won't even include your name unless you want credit and you want to be tagged, then you can let me know and I will tag you or put your username or whatever. But yeah, send me your paranormal experiences. So anyway, I have two. I'm going to do two today because one of them is pretty long and I skimmed it a little bit and it looks creepy. So these are two subscriber stories sent to my paranormal email or my Sammy, whatever, my scary story email. Probably should have named it something else, but I didn't have the name Sammy and Creepy at the time when I made this email. Oh well. Let's start with story number 1. Hey Sammy, I love watching your paranormal videos and love the creepy stories you read. I just finished watching your most recent one about Ouija board on Christmas, and I guess it just reminded me of my own story. It's kind of a long one, so I hope that's okay. It is absolutely okay. Mine has nothing to do with Christmas or a Ouija board, but some years ago I lived in this house. My family loved the house considering it was a pretty decent size for all of us. 6 people, including me. Oh, wow, that's a big family. I was pretty young at the time, about 13. To this day, I still remember everything clearly, and I know for certain none of it was some sort of figment. There was this feeling I'd have in that house, a really odd feeling in my head, chest, and stomach. I'd always feel uneasy, anxious, and scared. There was this dark weight everywhere I'd go. It didn't matter the room. I will say the bathroom and my bedroom, especially my closet, had the darkest feel to them. Conveniently, they were right next to each other. Mind you, my family has moved around a lot, different apartments and houses. None of them before or since had this kind of vibe to it. I would have really dark dreams about an extremely tall and dark figure with lanky limbs that would drag the floor, just watching me and getting closer. It's also cliche, a story I'd roll my eyes hearing, but I swear, actually experiencing it, I can't even describe the fear I was feeling. It didn't matter how cliche it was by horror tier. This was something I was actually living. Not to mention, my dreams have never been direct like those. I'd see from first person POV, laying in my bed when this thing would come out of my closet. It threw me off because, again, my dreams have always been very whimsical and crazy, never direct or with any normalcy like these. My older brother would also have extremely dark dreams. He told me about seeing the same figure, which is why I can't seem to brush it off as my overactive imagination. Even if I've always been very imaginative. My brother would start acting weird too. I won't get into all that stuff just because it's very personal to my family, but know that it was creepy as hell and not like him at all. So the day in particular I wanted to tell you about. A few days before, I'd been showering when I got out and noticed something on the fogged up mirror. I couldn't tell what it was at first because it was so small, but I realized it was my name. It was written in chicken scratch on the mirror in red. It didn't look like blood, more like red lipstick, but it still scared me shitless again, especially because that bathroom always had such a dark feeling to it. Well, I ended up finding out that my younger brother was the culprit of the name writing. He wanted to scare me, and he succeeded. The next part, though, couldn't have been him. It couldn't have been my family members, and I know that with 100% certainty. I was in the bathroom again, this time brushing my teeth. My mind was drifting away as it always does when I'm doing something, but I snapped back to reality really effing fast. I never really understood what people meant when they said, my blood ran cold, until this moment. And it's a feeling I'll never forget. That dark feeling was stronger than ever. I could literally feel it all around my body. I heard my name. Not just an echo in my head or in a normal way, and most definitely not in any of my family members' voices. We were all kids. Even if we tried to make our voices deep, you'd be able to tell that it was a kid doing it because the octave tends to stay pretty high and childish. My mom has never tried to scare me either, and her voice wouldn't be able to reach that pitch either. This voice was different. The words were slow and drawn out, deep and grumbled. It reminded me of cold coal being scraped against rock. I remember freezing in place, staring at my own face in the mirror with the widest eyes I'd ever seen. I wasn't even breathing, I was so scared. It only took a second, but it really did feel like a million effing years before I snapped out of it, threw my toothbrush into the sink, and ran out of the bathroom as fast as I possibly could. There was no one near the bathroom. I was alone. Everyone else was getting ready to walk to the bus. That only scared me more. I think that was the only paranormal experience I've ever had. Regardless, even though years have passed, I still don't think it was something that I imagined. I have conversations with my family, and they all felt the dark energy in the house. My older brother especially, the one who had the dreams like I did. If we ever talk about it, we can't seem to rationalize any of what happened. Anyway, that's all. Like I said, a very long story, so I apologize, but I hope I never end up experiencing something like that again. I honestly don't even know what I'd do. No, there was definitely dark energy in your home. For you to see that figure in your dreams was purposeful. And same, especially if your brother was seeing it too. Story number 2. Hi, Sammy. I'm here to share a creepy story. You may tell it if you wish. I would like to remain anonymous, of course. Caution. I will be writing a Spanish phrase. Please do not say it aloud. Doing so will summon the entity and will lead to great misfortunes such as poverty and other horrible things I will not name on here. So I will not be saying the phrase. Basically, it could bring poverty, losing people, or going crazy. So I know all of this because it happened to my family. If you enjoy reading this one, let me know. I have many real life stories from my childhood to share. The phrase is, my family is originally from the Dominican Republic, and when I was a child, we used to go there to visit my great-grandmother's house, where my aunt and grandmother lived. In the Dominican Republic, my aunt was a famous witch who was known for telling the future. Her clients were powerful politicians, television celebrities, and the wife of a mobster. She also had her own show on television where she would talk about horoscopes. And to this day, there was something dark in the background. Every time we'd visit my mom, dad, sisters, and I felt tired. We would sleep the whole night through and would wake up exhausted. My parents would argue nonstop. Random things would happen. The house we lived in the U.S. was broken into while we were away. The car broke down in the driveway, and we were forced to spend most of our vacation in my great-grandmother's house. We all got food poisoning, the lights didn't work, and it was 90 degrees outside, and that was only the beginning. The entity that lived in my great-grandmother's house is the spirit of an elderly woman from Spain. Her name is Argelia? Sorry, I'm probably butchering that. She lived with her mother her entire life and died a virgin. She shows herself to you as a woman in her 80s with long dark hair and sprinkled grays, wearing a white nightgown to her ankles. Every time she looks at you, she laughs sarcastically and speaks in an old Spanish dialect. She almost sounds like she's singing. My aunt says that the entity always possesses her body. She has to wear a ring to keep it from possessing her. When the entity possesses her, she slouches like an old woman. She walks towards me slowly, limping on her left foot. She lets her long dark hair down and speaks to me just like the spirit in an old Spanish dialect, bringing chills to my body. When I looked into my aunt's eyes, I knew I wasn't looking at my aunt, and it brought on a headache, so painful I came to tears. She told me that if I ever needed help, really wanted something, to call on her with this phrase, the one I'm not allowed to say. And she will make sure that I get what I want. That does not sound good. Although it was eerie, when I went back home to the U.S., I did end up calling on her because I was being bullied in school, and from then on, terrible things happened. Long story short, this entity followed my family to the U.S. When we had guests who slept over, or fell asleep, the entity would show herself to them. She would walk slowly towards them and laugh sarcastically, causing headaches and all-day fatigue. One of my parents' friends ran out of the house immediately after seeing it and yelling, "Something's here. It's laughing at me." I hope you enjoyed the story. That is absolutely terrifying and gave me chills. So yeah, if you have any more creepy stories that you would like to send me for me to read on my channel, please let me know. I will be reading some more creepy Reddit stories. I think I have one saved about someone having an experience with black-eyed children, which is terrifying. Those little creepy things. Even though I literally have one, she's right over here, and she will be back out soon. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed those creepy stories. That second one really creeped me out. Also, I'm gonna be doing more horror movie or like horror videos, like ranking horror movies or talking about recently watched horror movies, movie reviews for new ones that come out, because I'm really excited about Heart Eyes and The Woman in the Yard. If you haven't seen the trailer to those two, The Woman in the Yard comes out March 28th, I think, but Heart Eyes comes out February 7th. So I'm so excited to see both of them. And I'm excited to give you guys a review on it. So go watch the trailers if you haven't already and let me know what you think. Let me know if you think they're going to be good. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things that YouTube wants you to do to let them know that you like my videos. And don't forget to stay creepy.